Okay, have your light weights handy just so we can do a little work in the chest. Pecs and flies. So just have them somewhere nearby, but off your mat so that you're not going to steamroll your weights with your ball. All right, so we're going to start by sitting down on the ball. So get yourself centered. Take a second to wiggle out your tush and then find just a nice even footing so that you feel like if I said close your eyes, you weren't going to lose balance and you have a good firm foundation underneath your tush. Awesome. And then we're just going to rock forward and rock back. So I'm keeping a nice upright spine and we're thinking about leaning into the knees. So normally we'd say, don't let your knees go past your toes, but it's okay. So we're just going to lean in a little bit. So we're working mobility in the calf and the ankles, knees drawing past the toes, and then using the strength in your quads to just push yourself back. It should be a really light and gentle movement. So if this takes a lot of effort, dial it back just a little bit. Nice. Take 2 more times forward and back. Awesome. And then the next time you come back up and in, just make sure your feet are in a good stable position. Catch hold of your knees. We're going to move into a cat and cow, moving into the spine. Lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, round the back, tuck your chin in. Lift the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, round the back, tuck your chin down. Nice. Take a couple more just like that. Just moving at a pace that feels good to you and just tuning in. Notice how your back and shoulders are feeling. Awesome. Take one more time through. And then find a nice neutral spine. And then we're going to move into the hips. So we're going to bring our hands to those little bony landmarks. And we're just going to shove the tailbone back and then tuck the tailbone in. So it's not going to be a big giant movement. We're just finding that pelvic tilt. So tailbone dips down and tailbone reaches back. So it doesn't look like a lot's going on, but underneath your hands, you should feel that mechanics of the hip bones moving forward and then drawing back. Great. Take 2 more times forward and back. Awesome. And then once you found that more neutral place, we're going to work with a little bit of our feet. So find your feet on a stable position, and then we're going to pick up the left leg, step it out and step it in. And then switch sides. Other leg's going to step out and step in. So we want to find a little bit of movement, rotating out of the hip, internal, external rotation, but mostly it's just external rotation because they're not really internally rotating. We're just pulling it back in line. Nice. Awesome. Now, the next time your left leg steps out, let it step out and then rearrange your tush just so it feels like it's a really good, comfortable position. We're going to find that side bend position that we just had in our little stretch earlier. So we're going to take left elbow down to the knee and then think about pulling the ribs up and away. Reach your top arm up. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Lift it up. Step that foot in with control. Step your other foot out. Rearrange your tush so your hips feel good. And then same thing, lifting up and over, elbow to the knee, top arm reaches up. Beautiful. Lift it up, step that foot in. And now we're going to step both feet out to a nice wide configuration, still keeping a really, really bent position of the knees. Lift your chest forward, walk yourself down towards the floor, let your fingers touch the floor, and then make any movements that you need so you have plenty of room for the belly and the chest, and then soften everything down. So hopefully here, maybe finding a little stretch in the low back. You might feel a slight tug in the backs of the legs, but we really want to keep a nice bend in the knees so most of the work is coming out of the low back. Take one more nice deep breath here. And then we're going to come up nice and slow. So just walk your hands up, find your knees or your thighs. And then from here, we're going to start our little walking out position. So just make sure you have plenty of room for you and the ball to move, and feet are going to come to about hip or shoulder width distance apart. So maybe a slightly more narrow stance. Now we're going to start to walk ourselves out, find the low back, walk yourself back up. Walk yourself out, find your low back, and then walk yourself back up. Nice. Walk yourself out, find your low back, walk yourself back up. Make sure you got good positioning. We're going to go just a little bit further. So walk yourself out, find the low back, middle back, and then walk yourself back up. Awesome. Walk yourself out, find low back, middle back, walk yourself back up. Make sure you got a good bit of stability underneath you. Walk yourself out and then stay there. We're going to bring the hands behind the head and move into some crunches. So we're going to lean back over the ball. Exhale, pull the abdominal muscles down and crunch up. Inhale to lean back. Exhale to crunch. Nice. Keep that going. We want to think about keeping a little space between our chin and our chest. We want to think about pulling the abdominal muscles down towards the ball as we lift the chest and chin. Take 2 more crunches here. Nice. And then we're going to keep with this positioning on the ball, but see if you can walk yourself out a little bit further. So you're going to release your hands from behind your head, move yourself out and away, and then see if you can arrange it so that you get your shoulders on top of the ball. I'm going to move my ball back just a little bit so I have plenty of room to get there. So we want to see if we can find some space where our butt gets off the ball and our shoulders and our head are on the ball. And then once you've got that position, can you bring your hands to your hips? We're going to take a little dip of the tush down towards the ground and then squeeze the glutes, lift the hips back up. Lower your bum down towards the ground, just a slight maneuver, and then squeeze the glutes and lift back up. Check your knees, just make sure that your feet are in a good position. So you're feeling some action in the inner thighs, the tops of the legs, and the hamstrings, but it's not yanking against your kneecaps. If you need to rearrange your feet so your knees feel happy, take the time to do it. And then right back to it. Butt dips down, squeeze the glutes and lift. 3 more just like that. Last one. And then nice and slow and controlled, you're going to start to walk yourself back up and in, hands to the ball so you can really help prop yourself up. And then sit your butt down on the ball. And we're going to take 3 cat-cows just to soothe out that spine in case you came across anything there. So take a nice big lift of the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades, round the back, and then make it more fluid. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, round. Awesome. Lift to a neutral spine, hand to the ball. Keep it stable. Lift yourself up. We're going to come into a kneeling position alongside the ball. Super. So we're going to hug that ball nice and tight up against the hip and then send your other leg out so that you can find a place where you can lean into that ball, but that bottom knee needs to feel nice and stable. So then once you've got that all worked out, hands behind the head, we lean into the ball and then find a little crunch through the side body, lift the elbows up, lean into the ball, crunch and come up. Beautiful. 5 more just like that. Last one. Nice. And then as you lean in just a little bit, hands release to the ball, lift yourself up, and then move it on over to the other side. So we're going to hug that ball into the hip, extend your leg out, lean in, find that side kneeling position. Make sure the ball is stable underneath you, hands behind the head. We lean into the ball, crunch the side body, lift the elbow up. You got it. Nice work. Five more here. Last one. Release your hands from your head, support the ball, lift your way back up. And now we're gonna rotate or face the ball and pull that ball nice and close up against the thighs so that we can lean the belly onto the ball. Cool, and then curl your toes under, push your knees up away from the floor, walk yourself out so that your hands can reach down in front of you, and then line yourself up so wrists are in line with the shoulders. Great, and then we're gonna find a little bit of a planking position here on the ball. So start by pushing the floor away from your hands, broaden your shoulders, make sure the ball is in a good position, and then you might have to rearrange as your toes lift up away from the floor. Now we wanna think about pulling the abdominal muscles up towards the spine. So we're gonna bring a little bit of a broadness into the backside of the body, hug your inner thighs together, and then we're gonna flutter the feet like you're going for a little swim, but we're gonna keep lots of stability in the top half of the body, broad shoulders, stable arms, and we're just swimming those feet. Nice energy out through the toes, nice squeeze in the glutes, and a nice planking spine. So you're probably looking down at the floor. Beautiful. And we're gonna go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Relax your feet, float them back down to the ground. Walk yourself back to a kneeling position. We're going to bring the elbows and forearms onto the ball with a little bit of a triangle shape. So think about bringing your knuckles in towards each other. And then we're going to start by just practicing push the ball down, broaden the shoulders, and then relax. Push the ball down, broaden the shoulders, and relax. One more just like that. Push the ball down, broaden your shoulders, and relax. That might be enough for you right now. If it is, stay there, do that work. But if that felt good and you want a little bit more, you're going to curl your toes under, broaden the shoulders, push the ball away, pick the knees up, hover, lower the knees, relax the shoulders. Push the ball down, pick up the knees, hold it nice and stable, beautiful, and then bring the knees down, relax the shoulders. Nice. Push the ball down, pick up the knees, lower the knees, relax your shoulders. One more time, push the ball down, pick up the knees, lower the knees, and relax the shoulders. Nice. All right, flip over onto your backside, kick your legs up over the ball. All right, to start, we're gonna pull that ball in nice and close. So really get it hugging up against the backs of your thighs. And then we're gonna start by doing a little squeeze. So arms just in a comfortable position. You're gonna squeeze the heels into the ball. Feel a little activation of your tops of your thighs, and then relax. Squeeze and relax. Squeeze and relax. Now we're gonna squeeze, hold that squeeze for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Pull it in and squeeze. So we're really pushing the heels down, activating the quads. Legs might get a little shaky, but hold it there if you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. One more time, just like that. Hug the heels in, squeeze, quads are active, legs get a little shaky. Hold it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whoo, relax. Give your hips a little shake, wiggle out your toes, and then walk that ball just a little bit away from your thighs, but the heels are still going to be on the ball. Now we're going to bring our hands a little closer to the hips, palms facing down. We're going to press into the backs of the arms, dig into the heels, start to lift your tailbone up away from the floor, find a little stability with the ball. Release your tailbone back down. Dig the heels in, arms press down, lift the tailbone up, maybe see if you can come a little higher, and then lower it back down. Relax your legs for a second. Nice. One more time, just like that. Heels dig in, tailbone lifts, maybe see about lifting a little bit higher. and then lower it back down. Nice. And now we're going to take it into some bigger hip bridges here. So just make sure you have a good stable base on the ball. You might just stay there with that tailbone lift, but if that felt good and stable, you're going to lift higher, lift the hips up as high as they go, and lower with control. Lift up nice and high, and lower with control. Lift up nice and high, and lower with control. Keep that going. Lift up nice and high. You got this. Lower with control. 4 more to go here. 3, 2. Last one. Lift up nice and high. Lower with control. Woo. Walk that ball back in. Let your feet rest on the ball. Let your arms come out into a T position and start to rock your knees a little bit side to side. So not a big giant movement. We're not dropping the knees all the way down, but just starting to find a little bit of a rotation. So you might feel that rotation in your hips and your center. And then right to the point where your knees come out to that side, you'll feel your oblique muscles fire up to help control and pull the legs back in. Beautiful. One more time each side. And then come back to center. We're going to hug that ball into the backs of the thighs. Keep a nice firmness in the legs. Reach your hands down alongside your hips, palms facing down. Inhale a nice big breath. And as you exhale, curl up the head, neck, and chest. Maintain that curled up position. And we're going to start to pump the arms. We're going to inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Lower everything down. And then when you're ready, you're just going to step your feet gently off the ball. We're going to lift ourselves up into a little wide leg position. So legs out to the left and to the right with the ball in front of you, just to a comfortable degree with those legs. And then walk the ball out, reach long through the arms. Think about dropping your chest forward and letting your head just come in between your arms. A little stretch to the shoulders, a little stretch to the inner thighs. Take a nice big breath. When you're ready, nice and slow, start to lift yourself back up. We're going to bend those knees, swing them around, come into a kneeling position. So we're going to face the ball against the belly. We're going to bring it nice and tight up against the belly, and then just lean your belly over the ball and let your arms collapse over the top of the ball. So what we want to find is a roundness in the backside of the body. So we really just want to let ourselves drape over the ball and let everything go. So it's bringing a little space to the backside of the body, the shoulder blades, and the thoracic spine. So just allow a few minutes here to just take a couple nice deep breaths to create that space in the backside of your body. This is my favorite position, and I could keep us here all day, but we got work to do. So when you're ready, nice and easy, start to lift yourself back up. We're going to find our weights and come into a seated position on the ball. All right, so once you've got your weights, we're just going to keep our weights fairly close to our shoulders just to start. So we find that stability again. We always want to make sure that we have a good foundation underneath us, and then start to walk yourself out just a little bit. Make sure everything feels good. And then when you feel like you've got good foundation, lean back. So middle back and hips are resting on the ball, which means you do have to support the head and neck a little bit. So if at any point this becomes too much, just come up to a seated position and you can work in an upright. But if this feels okay, we're going to press up from the chest, palms face each other, open into a fly, bring it in, rotate palms face down, pull it back to the chest. Press up, palms rotate in, open arms out, bring it in, palms flip, weights back to the chest. Press up, rotate, open wide, bring it in, rotate palms, pull it back to the chest. Press up, rotate, open out, pull it in, rotate, and in. 2 more to go. Press up, rotate, open out, in, back down to the chest. Last one, press up, rotate, open out, pull it in, rotate palms, come to the chest, walk yourself back up with control. Beautiful. And then once you've got yourself up in that upright position, move your feet in just a little bit closer so you have plenty of room to move. We're just going to take a couple of bicep curls here. Keep those elbows hugging in at the ribs. Keep a nice stable base. So even in this position, we do have to work our core and our center to keep our posture upright and that ball stable underneath. 3 more to go here. Nice. And now we're going to keep the elbows at the ribs with this nice 90-degree bend, and we're just going to rotate out and in for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Bring it in. Nice. Move your weights just off to the side so that they're out of your way a little bit. And then step your feet forward with that nice big giant space and nice big giant bend in the knees. Start to glide your hands down your shins, reach towards your toes, make some space for your belly and your chest, and then let your head drop down and take a couple nice deep breaths. Cool, and then when you're ready, nice and easy, walk it all back up and in. We're gonna step our feet into a nice stable foundation. Drop your left ear over to your left shoulder and then reach your left hand up. So it's gonna find the side of your head. Let your hand just rest on your head. So that little added bit of weight of your hand is gonna draw you a little deeper into that stretch. Awesome. Release your hand from your head, lift up, take it to the other side. So we drop the right ear to right shoulder. And then if it feels good, right hand's going to reach up, rest on the side of your head. Nice. And then release your hand, lift your head up. We're going to finish with our back bends as we like to do. So we're going to start by just finding that little walk out, little walk in, make sure your feet feel good, knees are happy, and then start to walk yourself out, finding that middle and upper back. Let's think about bringing our hands behind the head to start, to lean back, keeping a little support of the head and neck. Notice how that feels. This might be the perfect back bend for you. And if it is, hang out here. If it feels really good and you want to extend your arms up out from underneath your head, just find a little reach. Take a moment or two here to assess in this gentle back bend. And then if all of that is feeling good, start to position yourself so you can find the floor with your hands, pressing your palms into the earth, pressing your feet into the earth, and then pressing your body up away from the ball. And then when you're ready, slowly, carefully, mindfully release. Find your way all the way back up to a seated position. And then once you've got yourself into a seated position, just to soothe out that back bend, we're going to take a little twist. So right hand's going to reach for the left knee, left hand behind you. Awesome. And then rotate to the other side. Nice. And then bring it back to center. Hands to the ball just to keep it stable. Lift yourself up. And then we're going to move that ball in front of us for a little down dog stretch. So hands to the ball, and then either walk your feet back or walk the ball forward. So we find some nice long reach through the arms, make a little V shape with your body, and then let your chest and your head sink towards the earth, and let your arms just get kind of heavy into the ball. So we'll hopefully find a little stretch in the shoulders and all the way through the back chain of your body. Take one more big breath here. Awesome. And then soften your knees. Walk that ball in towards you as you lift yourself all the way on up to standing. Take a couple little shrugs of the shoulders, give everything a little wiggle jiggle. And I hope that your body feels very good and happy today.